Joaquim Santos was preparing for one of the most challenging rallies of the Group B calendar. Little did he know how this race would end for him. 3 dead, over 30 injured. The series would be closed at the end of this season. Back in 1981, the World Rally Championship, or the WRC as we know it, was facing a serious problem. There was a big decline in interest in the sport. To revive the excitement, the organisers decided to create something that would stand out from the usual rally championships. Group B Series was born. The rules for Group B were unlike anything seen before. Instead of strict regulations on horsepower and safety standards, the organisers kept things flexible. There were no power restrictions, very few safety standards, and only 200 road legal examples of the cars were required to enter the competition. This was a dream come true for car companies who saw the opportunity to create some of the most powerful and exciting rally cars in history. This created the attention of many car companies, and they decided to create these rally beasts. Lancia brought their legendary 037, Peugeot brought their famous 205 T16, and Audi, of course, brought their Quattro. In 1982, the world was buzzing with excitement as the first season of the Group B era kicked off. However, it didn't take long for the sport to reveal its dark side. Cars were proving to be incredibly unreliable and demanded a high level of skill to maneuver, with drivers frequently struggling to keep them under control. The result? Cars flipping and going airborne way too easily, causing a number of accidents over the rallies. Spectators were also caught standing scarily close to the action as cars flew past. It was a thrilling spectacle, but also a dangerous one that left many questioning the future of the sport. For a couple of years, the rally world seemed to be in the golden era. People had high hopes for the sport, and it looked like their dreams were coming true. Spectators were captivated and the drivers were thrilled with excitement to drive these magnificent cars. The crashes that were a common occurrence in the sport became few and far between, and the driver's skill and precision were on display for all to see. The introduction of the legendary Audi Quattro with all its new 4-wheel drive technology and 550 horsepower set a new standard for speed. The 4-wheel drive allowed the car to have an immense amount of grip on the exits of the corners, and the 550 horsepower allowed for the car to destroy anything else in a straight line. Fans were amazed, and the drivers were thrilled to be behind the wheel of such a powerful machine. This led them to their success, where they won the 1982 and 1984 manufacturer titles and the 1983 World Drivers' Championship. This proved that any rally car that would stand a chance against the new legendary Quattro would have to have 4-wheel drive. Quickly after the Audi Quattro, we saw the rocket ship that was the Peugeot 205 T16. With its short wheelbase, small engine displacement, and a massive turbo, this car was destined for wins. The short wheelbase allowed the car to quickly turn through corners and allowed for the car to be flicked into hairpins. This allowed the car to destroy the Quattro in the corners and match it on the straights with its 347 horsepower and weight of 907 kilos. The massive turbo allowed for the engine to be relatively small and still produce a lot of power. This car literally took all the weaknesses of the Quattro and fixed them. This took the car to both 1985 and 1986 manufacturer and world driver titles. This makes it the most successful Group B car ever to be made. Both the Quattro and the 205 T16 were completely out of reach from the rest. Nothing could even come remotely close to these cars. They were unstoppable. Even during the worst conditions possible, both of these cars found a way to power through to place very high during the rally, and both the drivers and the engineers deserve a ton of respect for both building and driving the most feared and fastest rally cars ever built. The sport was at its pinnacle, and the organizers were ecstatic with the results they were witnessing. This brought in the organizers tons of money through advertisements, and it helped them establish themselves as a motorsport. But there was a dark side to this newfound success. The safety precautions that had been put in place were disregarded to make the car lighter, and the drivers started taking even more risks. As a result, the sport became significantly more dangerous, and the drivers' lives were put at risk. The future of the sport was uncertain. and the consequences of the decisions made during this time would be felt for years to come. This once again put the sport onto disrepute on safety grounds. People were unsure if the risk was worth it. On the 2nd of May 1986, Joaquim Santos found himself on the brink of destiny, eager to showcase his skills and determination in the world of rallying. The rally kicked off with a pulse-quickening burst of speed, a nearly flat-out stretch that Santos treated like a mere warm-up. As Santos maneuvered through the initial section with the precision of a seasoned pro, an unexpected twist lurked on the horizon. A daring spectator, drawn by the allure of the roaring engines and the screeching tires, daringly stepped onto the unforgiving tarmac. It was as if fate itself had thrown a wild card into the mix. Santos swiftly attempted to correct his course to spare the unwitting intruder. A high-stakes dance unfolded as the rally car teetered on the edge of control. The line between mastery and mayhem blurred, leaving Santos and his co-driver grappling with a precarious situation. In the blink of an eye, the delicate balance was shattered. The car took a trip off course, leaving chaos in its wake. The desperate maneuver meant to protect an unsuspecting spectator had unintended and devastating consequences. The once thrilling spectacle of racing turned into a nightmare. The aftermath echoed with grim toll of the unforeseen accident. 3 lives were tragically lost and 30 spectators were left in the grip of severe injuries. What was supposed to be a showcase of skill and adrenaline became a haunting reminder of the unpredictable nature of sports. May 2nd, 1986 etched its place in history as a day when the quest for glory collided with the harsh realities of fate, casting a somber shadow over the world of rally racing. Almost immediately after the incident, many teams pulled out of the sport. Hours later, it was announced that Group B World Championship would be closed by season's end. This led to a demise of Group E and led to changes in other motorsports such as Group A, improving on safety and mandating that every car must have bigger, more structurally supportive roll cages in each car. This incident really shows that safety is more important than going quickly. What would have happened if this crash never occurred? Would an even worse one happen later down the line? This incident really shows that safety is more important than going quickly. What would have happened if this crash never occurred? Honestly, it's impossible to tell, but this was the greatest era of rally for sure.